We all know that I am crypto's #1 shit show in all of planet Earth. Here we go. Believe it or not, we all thought Ice Cube's chance in hell will ever get my ass out of bed and go work out. Well, lo and behold, it happened on Friday. That wasn't so bad. It happened today. Got in there, did some CrossFit, did some squats, and then went on a run. Went on a little 200-yard run. Well, after about the first 100 feet, I almost dropped dead. I was dying, and I'm toast. I did about 1/10 of the workout, and I was sprawled out on my back for about 30 minutes. Oh, baby. We got a little ways to go to get my ace back in shape. Here we go. So I'm a complete zombie. I'm ready to go to bed. Guess what? It's helping my sleeping patterns. Hey, and then while I'm there, I bought some meals, eating better, sleeping better. Look out. Hey, it might happen. Kong's getting me straight. Kong's on me. We got it set every day, 4 p.m. sacred time. Going to CrossFit, baby. Here we go. So I don't know if you heard earlier, my man, KP. So I will share my screen real quick. So first of all, Kong and I are going to Rare Evo here on August 24th through the 26th in Denver, Colorado. Pumped for that. BitBoy's going to be there. Crypto NDO, Charles Hoskinson with Cardano, whole bunch of different people. Loudmouth is the one that got me to go, baby. So Kong and I, we're going to be spooning. We're bunking up together, baby. We got a hotel. We've already gotten it. We're not actually spooning. We got one with 2 beds. Almost went just 1 bed, though. Saving that money. Anyways, pumped for this. Also, I don't know if you saw earlier. Okay, right here. George has been talking about, Cryptos R Us George, okay? He tweeted out about it yesterday. Brian D. Evans commented. He talked about it quite a bit on his show today, a couple different times he watched this morning, okay? He's real serious about wanting to launch this Cryptos R Us Plus YouTube channel here. It's got over 4,000 subs, but he's wanting to push this out hard, okay? And he's wanting me and Kong to be kind of 2 of the main guys running the thing along with some others, okay? But specifically, mostly for gaming, all right? So that was a big announcement today. There's a lot more to come with this. We've also talked about doing a gaming show on his channel. In the past, we did. I think he's wanting to see how this goes, okay? And a few others will be in on this, doing this. This is exciting. Really excited to kind of team up with George, do this, put out some videos, even talk to Eric David Tippett about helping us do a little editing, maybe videos. We'll see if we can make that work. Okay. And George also has this Cypherpunk 2023 powered by Flux, brought to you by Cryptos R Us. We'll be there as well. I'm pretty sure Fort Lauderdale, September 27th through the 28th. Excited about all these different things going on. I know that you, baby, and Sticks Intern, you're doing a video talking about permissionless. I want to talk about that a little bit tonight. Also, let's talk about anything else we want to talk about. What's going on in DeFi Kingdoms? I know Crypto Tro just put something out. There's so many videos out there flying out. So many people making content, even new people out there making content. I'm loving it. It's hard to keep up with everything. How the heck are you doing? What's going on with KP, Kristian, Peter, baby?
Love you, Grady. Last time I saw you was in Vegas, baby. My God, it seems like just yesterday we were hanging out at the Venetian. We were lounging in the sports book. We were having beers and watching sports. It was a great time. We got a chance to hang out with George and Dreamer and Brian D. Evans and Jet and all of these amazing people in Web3. I'm super, super excited about what's going on. I mean, you've got all these events coming up. Sticks Intern and I are going to be doing a live podcast tomorrow evening, 6 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, right before the guys from Bogside hopefully go on. And we'll be quick, but we're going to go through Permissionless 2023. The guys from Bankless and also the guys from Blockworks are putting on their annual conference. The first one was last year. This is number 2. It's going to be so cool in Austin, Texas. I can't wait to be there. 7,000 people from all over Web3. The keynote speaker is going to be Eric Voorhees. That's right. The man, the myth, the legend, the guy who debated SBF 1 week before FTX collapsed and basically put him in his place. Super, super stoked about that. But there's big things going on, Grady. You and I both know that. I mean, there's just so much happening right now. Everybody's kind of geared up for these doldrums of summer, but we're headed towards September. And when September comes, things are going to change a little bit. I think the atmosphere is going to get a little bit different. We had a great podcast with Sargent and all the crew.
Oh.
Yeah, Wowee and Raph and Sticks Intern and Sarge all got together on Friday. If you haven't seen that yet, go check out Sarge's channel. It was awesome. We had a great time. We talked about everything. So much fun.
It's one of the best videos I've ever seen on Sarge's channel. Straight up. I mean, you guys were fire. All of you guys. Yeah, wow, he was in there. Oh man, it was so good. That video. That was just a perfectly well done, man.
Yeah, and I wanted to say that Brovia just reached out to me on Discord and asked me about helping with some YouTube tune-ups and getting some additional engagement and things like that. And I'm happy to help. I want everybody to, the tide needs to come up for all of us. We can boost the DFK community. Everybody, we have such a great foundation set with all of the community members right now. So many people, like you mentioned already, are creating great content. And now it's just a question of pushing that content out to the masses. Get it out there on Twitter, on Reddit, on Instagram, on all the different channels that we possibly can. Everybody could be liking, sharing. It takes 10, 15 minutes every day, and the entire community benefits from it. So I'm excited about that as well.
So when is permissionless? So, and did you say that those YouTube guys, what's the channel called again? Are they the ones that put it on?
Yeah, so this is going to be put on by Bankless and Blockworks. Yeah, so Bankless is one of my favorite podcasts. I know that I'm a Bankless citizen. Sticks Intern is too. The entire community around Bankless is all focused on one thing, obviously, and that's getting out of the traditional financial system and into your own self-custody assets. And that's just what everybody should be looking at right now. We're in a time when everything is around us. I just put a video out today based on the All In podcast, which I love watching. And those guys basically said, which I didn't even know, the government's printing another $2 trillion, behind closed doors. The Treasury is issuing all these additional funds, and they're putting all this money into the out there into the environment. And we're all going to basically get everything inflated more and more and more every single day. So the only thing that doesn't inflate is assets that are hard. You've got your Bitcoin, you've got your Ethereum, you've got all the different assets out there that you can, sit back and hold on to long term. And that they're not going to change. They're going to only go up as more dollars come into the system. But Blockworks is all based on DeFi, and Bankless is all based on DeFi. This is going to be the largest DeFi conference in the world. So I'm excited about it. It's September 11th through the 13th in Austin. Okay. I'm going to be getting in there a day early because I'm going to be a part of the hackathon. So I'm excited about that as well. Going to be hacking some Web3 Solidity type of contracts and, seeing what's up with the entire DeFi space. I'm excited to bump elbows with some of the really cool developers that are out there, see what people are building. It's a fun time right now. I'm just enjoying this, as much as I possibly can. But yeah, it's going to be fun. All these conferences come up. Which one's got you most excited, Grady?
I mean, I don't want to miss any of them. So how much is it to go to permissionless?
Oh, it's getting expensive now. I'm going to see if I can get a little bit of a discount. I know that us as Bankless citizens, we get 30% off, but it's still like $600. So it's okay. Not a cheap conference by any means. Gotcha. But it is going to have a lot of huge players there, including like Anatoly, the founder of Solana. A lot of huge people in the space are going to be giving really good fireside chats, and it's 3 days long. So that's the nice part, is that it's 3 full days of conference, and there's going to be a lot happening. But yeah, it definitely isn't cheap. So I'm hoping that maybe we can get a couple of free tickets thrown our way. Maybe if Sticks Intern and I can do a good enough job promoting it, maybe we can get a few people in our community a little additional discount and see what we can do, right?
Hey, because all of us that are mindless, degenerate degens like myself, mindlessly irresponsible, aping in all through the bear, dollar cost averaging until our minds melt, and we lose everything. Unlike others out there that are being more responsible, right? Okay, we got to figure this out. All the traveling. Also, George, he said, he wants us to do our own video editing on these, and he wants them to be good edited videos, but he doesn't want us spending money, which makes sense. Like, he doesn't want to be putting us out. And so I was going to get with you on some tips on video editing. I know Eric David Tippett too. We'll see what's going on there. Hopefully, so there's so many things to be bullish about, right? But we've heard some bearish things, and people saying bearish things anyways. People with concerns, I keep seeing it. I've seen it. It's weird. Several times out there, people mentioning, that they're concerned about DeFi Kingdoms with this proposal to Clayton, thinking, hey, they must be desperate. It's a money grab or whatever. And you and I both know, and I think even better than I do, KP, that's not what this is about, boys and girls. Here's what this is about. There's a bunch of blockchains out there wanting to throw in a whole bunch of money because they're at DeFi Kingdoms to get them to get around onto their blockchain. It's high demand. Okay. And so we gotta, I think DeFi Kingdoms is handling this very professionally, very classy, trying to salvage this relationship with Clayton, trying to do their best to keep it cool. They're not trying to throw any shade at Clayton at all, but hey, this is a win if this doesn't work out with Clayton, because we know there's other phenomenal, mind-blowing options out there that would be super bullish. So of course, yes, we want this to work out with Clayton and everything. Great. That'll be awesome. If they can get this to work and, love on this relationship a little more. If not, even better.
You said it, brother. I mean, the DFK team is coming at this from a position of strength. And I think that what people need to look at is the fact that you're right. There is a lot of desire to have high throughput games on any blockchain. You're going to see a lot more demand for a lot of these GameFi projects to come onto any number of blockchains that are out there. Obviously, Avalanche subnets are a big portion of it right now. And Avalanche really was the first one to court the gaming projects onto subnets. And DeFi Kingdoms was the very first one. I mean, people really don't even remember that, right? It's like DFK made that leap before anybody else did. And it was one of those things that none of us wanted to happen. We're like, why can't you just build out the combat on Harmony? We all wanted to get to the fighting as quickly as we can. Let's get a game. Let's get all this stuff done. And they're like, no, we're gonna have the second realm. It's gonna be on Avalanche. We're gonna have a cross-chain game. It's gonna be really cool. Well, now that we've got a cross-chain game, I mean, we've got the ability to have 2 more realms, if not more. And it's just like given DFK the position to say, and you and I both talked to several different projects at 3XP that were just clamoring at the bit for whatever they could possibly get. All of those GameFi projects, please come over and build on us. Please come over and build on us. We've got huge grants. If you'll come and build your game on our blockchain and get all those additional gas fees and all those additional eyeballs and total value locked, we would love for you to come over. And that's where they are right now with Clayton. Hey, they don't want to leave. But if Clayton's going to say to them, we don't value you, I mean, DFK is already 60% of all Clayton's gas fees, and they only have 10% of the entire hero base on there. Can you imagine if they had 50 or 60%? It'd be nuts.
Nuts. And as we know, Avalanche, you just mentioned, has treated them like kings. Avalanche has followed through. They've come through. They've given them money. They've helped out because it's also really helped Avalanche. It's just been a great, phenomenal win-win relationship. And they want that from their other blockchain partners as well. And I don't know. I don't think anything's real bad there. I think it's cool. But, we know that Clayton cut down on a lot of their staff, a lot of their employees, not exactly sure what's been going on there. And they're just saying, hey, we've got these other people wanting to court us. Okay. So we need this from you. This is what we need. We got to get some love from you. I don't know if it's been real profitable for the DeFi Kingdoms team, so far. And it hasn't quite worked out the way they wanted to originally. I think at first it was great. There's a lot going. And then, Clayton just made some changes. Not exactly sure what's going on. Again, still, I think really still hoping it works out there and everything. But that's what's going on. This isn't a desperation play, money grab, DeFi Kingdoms panicking, desperately trying to get money. No, not at all. The
No.
opposite.
And you know, Grady, because you had Loudmouth on your channel. I mean, he was just able to raise so much money. I couldn't believe that, standing there at the top of the Mandalay Bay, talking to Loudmouth and the VC that's giving him so much, millions of dollars to have events so that he can attract more builders and more people to get in front of this entire VC, family office, and give them the opportunity to invest more into Web3. I was like, wow, there's millions of dollars just to have events to attract people. I mean, DFK's already got a product. It's been proven. It's been out there. It's already working. Can you imagine like how much that would be in just the eyes of a venture capitalist to say, hey, here's 10 million or $20 million. Why don't you guys take this and use it? And I think that Dreamer's even spoken about that, where he said, if we're going to accept money from an outside source, we're going to need to have a way that we can funnel that into the right channels. You can't just take money and say like, oh yeah, we'll figure out what to do with it. It's like, no, you need to have things earmarked and say, okay, this $1 million is going to go towards marketing. This is going to go towards acquisitions. And this is going to go towards, development team. And this is, but if you don't have that in place, why take money? Why take $5 million and give up equity in your company only to not be able to spend all that money, right? So they want to make sure that they're spending it correctly, that when they do take money and when they take it from the right person, it's a win-win for that person too. I mean, the VC has got to bring some tools. They've got to bring some network. They've got to bring some additional things to the table that DFK can't get from somebody else. So if the right VC was to come up and say, hey, I can bring you A, B, and C, and you guys are lacking A, B, and C right now, great. Let's form a partnership. Let's do that right. But I don't think they need it. I mean, I think that they're in the point right now where in this build cycle, we're at a very good position where they continue to innovate, they continue to build, they continue to deliver, they continue to put things out. And, we're at this inflection point right now where, okay, we might be headed towards the bull market soon. The halving's coming up in April. We've got about 7 months to go. Let's see what happens when we get to that point. And I think that's what all crypto companies are looking at. Wow, how can we get through April and beyond? And then we'll start to say, okay, let's take in some funds. Let's grow like crazy. Let's hit that accelerator button and just blast off.
I love it. And that same VC that forked out $3.7 million just for 12 events that Loudmouth is putting on. Okay. I connected with her. I mean, I connected with her for a good 30 minutes at least, got her personal phone number and everything. And she is biting at the bit to find other projects to invest in. That was phenomenal. Connected with
great. Yeah, she chatted with us for at least half an hour, 45 minutes. And, Loudmouth was excited. She was super excited. I mean, she talked to George for a little while and she's just like, hey, I've got all of this money that wants to make its way into blockchain. I've got to figure out how to do that. My office, my CEOs come to me and said, we want to invest in blockchain. Figure it out. Let's figure out how we get this money. And so she did what was smart, right? She said, let's have events around the country. Let's get all these guys that are building these amazing projects to come in, and we'll meet with them one-on-one and talk with them, see what they're doing. If we like what we're doing, hey, here's a couple $1 million. Go continue to build. We want 20% of your company. We want 10% of your company, whatever it looks like, but let's build something cool. And that's what VCs do, right? I mean, that's the really cool thing, is they look for these projects that they can invest in early stage, get $10 million involved, take 10 or 20% of the company, and let these guys build these products that are going to change the world.
It's phenomenal. And we know Brian D. Evans is a big VC. He's also just a big influencer. And Dreamer got a personal invite to this party as well. Okay, so that Dreamer's in there talking with all these same folks, boys and girls, right? Yeah. So, hey, an onslaught of DeFi Kingdoms announcements are coming, and you will blow your mind. George even explained some more phenomenal things coming to Kong and I this morning. We had a video meeting with him this morning, and Josh, George's right-hand man. And oh my gosh, it's just hard to even keep it in.
Yeah, I
So
was going to tell you, Grady, on the way to the airport, I was listening to Hustle Station because I was listening to some new stuff on Wag Me Games and some other things that were out there. And Hustle has a portfolio, has a basket of about 8 different projects, I think. And DeFi Kingdoms is one of them. So he's like, the Jewel token right now is the market cap of like $7 million. And he's got like 8 projects that all come out to like $90 million total. And he's like, there's no possible way that these things are going to be under $1 billion to $2 billion to possibly $5 billion in the next bull run. So these 8 tokens that he's watching, he's just like, hey guys, here's what I'm doing. And, you know, Crypto Banter's got their 600, 700,000 subscribers, and Hustle's sitting there talking with them once a week saying, this is what I'm doing. This is how I'm doing it. I'm following the Illuviums of the world. And I like the, you know, the Pyres, and I like the DeFi Kingdoms. And every time those things come up, people are listening going like, oh, okay, they fall into that basket of things to watch. I like that. Let's see what happens.
Oh, nuts. I mean, I need to catch up on Hustle. Hustle gets a good 15, 20, 25,000 views, and he does daily videos on gaming. He's quite a bit bigger than Stash or anyone else in the crypto gaming space. And he is now talking bullish about DeFi Kingdoms. He's also in Twitter spaces quite a bit with Jet, with George, okay? In that same circle. That's how this works. We get connected with these guys. That's what needs to happen, is for people just to be aware of the gem that DeFi Kingdoms is, and these other projects too. There's other good ones like Dragon's Crossing. The founder of Wag Me Games, Ion, was also there, okay, at the party. Connected with him. I got a little, you know, as you guys know, I was asking Jet, you know, what are some of the other projects that apply to be on Next Crypto Gym? Because I think that TV show is going to be huge. I think it's going to be massive. Everybody in crypto is going to watch it. Okay. And then plus, it's meant to reach people outside of crypto. And it's really well done. And it's going to air over and over on repeat for months and on everything you could imagine. Anybody will be able to watch that owns a smart TV. Simple as that. Anywhere in the world, pretty much. In all the languages. So many more huge announcements. So super bullish on the weight token for the utility that's going to be coming for that as well. Jet was there at the party. Really connected with Brian D. Evans. Connected with Dreamer. That was fun. He had that backpack. Okay. Woo. And then we spent, like, Christian Peter and I spent a good, like, full day and a half together, just us two eating. He's showing me around all over the place. At Vegas, we're going into all the fanciest restaurants, the nicest places that are on TV and in movies. And this one was Ocean's 11, and this one was, you know, it was like I got the tour from the man himself, Christian Peter, baby. It was so fun connecting, hanging with you, having that time with you. It means so much. It'll never be forgotten, man. I love you.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, that's what life's about, right? We got to all meet up in real life. We got to enjoy the time that we have together. It's like every time we have a DFK meetup, or there's a conference or something going on around the world, it's great to see people that are in, you know, our little walk of life. You know, we see each other once a week, or, you know, on YouTube or on Twitter or whatever, but it's so much more fun to get together and hang out and, you know, just talk about what's going on, life events, and all the different things that you never get to find out about people unless you're, you know, spending that much time with them. But it was fun to show you around Vegas. I mean, we got a chance to go see the gondolas in Venice. We got a chance to go to relax at Caesar's Palace and just lounge around in leather recliners and watch MMA. And it was like it was a great time. So I'm glad that we got a chance to do that. Oh, also too, I was going to ask you, you spent an extra day there. You got to go see the guys from Sin City Crypto. How was that?
Yeah. So my flight was canceled. Okay. Not rescheduled. It was canceled. And the only option was to get a refund. Okay. So I just had to rebook a whole new flight. Like, dang. But the way that worked out was I got to hang out with the guys at Sin City Crypto, who are also, by the way, okay, talking, you know. So real quick too, this Robin Hood, I want to come back to this. He asked for a shout out here. But this, you know, Cryptos RS Plus, I think Sin City is also going to be helping with that. So, hey, it was really good connecting with them, sat on that red couch while they did their video. It was so fun. And, you know, just getting to know those guys a little bit more. They didn't really know me from Adam, you know, until this event. And so It was just good. It takes time sometimes to build that relationship, but they invited me right on in to their studio. Just seeing how serious they are. They've spent $250,000 on that studio, on all the equipment and everything. It's like they aren't joking around. They take it serious. It was like a little kick in my rear end. Like they're taking it hardcore serious every day. I mean, they have like meetings weekly, their goals, they're all laid out there. That's their to-dos, their plans. Like they are Johnny on it. That was fun, baby. Okay. And I just posted this link right here. I'm just doing this because I love you, Robinhood. Baby, I didn't even look at this yet. Okay. So Robinhood said, where the heck? I'm just gonna show everybody what he said. You know, he edited and updated the C-Jewel rental staking system proposal, adding it to the vote proposals too. You can read over it. He's just trying to get a little more attention and eyeballs on the idea. Haven't even read it myself. There it is. It's in there. So I don't know if we need to go over this live, but it's right here in the chat. Love you, Robinhood, baby. Okay.
Yeah, there's a ton of really great proposals that are out there for different aspects of the game. And, you know, that's another part that I don't think people appreciate as much about DeFi Kingdoms is that they allow the community to have these votes about assets that are going to affect, you know, people's livelihood, right? They could make these decisions arbitrarily and just say, hey, we're going to do this or we're going to do that. But when there's an important thing that comes up that's going to affect everybody, they usually put it out for a vote. I mean, I think what Bolon said is that, you know, the game mechanics and stuff are going to be internal. That's going to be the team. You can't put that up to a community vote because the committee would always, you know, just mess it up. Basically, you need to have a one-person committee. Basically, that's Hubert, who says, this is what we're going to do and this is how we're going to do it, which is fine. But if there's something that has to deal with assets inside the game, like Jewel or like Heroes or something like that, then yeah, it's going to be a vote where everybody who has staked Jewel or who has Heroes or who has land gets that determination made. You get to vote on it, and if it passes, great. That's what the team does. And if it fails, you know, they don't do it. So that's the part of the game that I really like. We can't really fault them for wanting to bring everybody that's a part of this game into it and allow us all to make those decisions. And you know, it's a great way to look at the way games should be, right? It's not like, you know, we're buying into this and thinking like, oh gosh, I hope that they choose the right thing. No, we all get our decisions on how we want it done. And I'm happy that Robinhood and everybody else in the community writes proposals up and thinks about it and lays out, you know, what it is that they feel would be the best thing to do. And then we can all vote and see how it goes.
Yeah, I love it. And so it is good to pay attention to that. Thanks for even having the heart to do that, Robinhood. I just love, you know, seeing people, even if the idea gets shot down, it's okay. It's just, it still doesn't mean when you have an idea that's shot down by the team, it doesn't mean they didn't hear aspects of that idea that could in the future impact, you know, things they want to do or the direction things may go. So don't get discouraged. Anytime your idea gets shot down, I'd say keep these coming, baby. Keep these proposals coming on talk.defykingdoms.com. This one is C-Jewel rental / staking system. I'll have to check it out when I get time. I love it, man. Yeah, the team, speaking of, the team is really doing everything they can. I mean, they really make it pretty obvious. They're doing everything they can to do what's right by the community, be fair. They do their best to listen to everybody's ideas. Okay. And they can't obviously do too many of them. They can only do what they can do. And, you know, they can only listen to the advice that they can listen to, like just from where they're at, from their perspective. And they just might be on a different page or a different wavelength. I mean, I feel that way all the time. It doesn't mean that the team isn't doing their best to listen. They're trying to do everything right by everyone, by the community as best they can, as best as anybody could ever hope or expect to out of a crypto project, period, I would say.
Right. Yeah. And I was pretty excited too, Grady, because on the AMA last week, and I know that you and Ogre talked about it a lot. You had a really good overview of that. But I was in the chat, you know, just on Discord, and I wanted to get a little bit of clarification on items on crafting. And so Frisky Fox was talking about what the crafting situation was going to look like. And I just wanted to find out, okay, are those items going to be ERC 721s or ERC 20s? If they're ERC 20s or 1155s, they can be sold on the bazaar.
Yeah.
And 721s, they need to have their own marketplace. They're just a regular NFT, like a hero, pet, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
So they're going to all be 721s, which I don't know if people really understand the actual value to those. My biggest, I think, exposure to that was the Bored Ape Yacht Club has a game that they came out with. I forget the name of it. It just escapes me right now. But they had a game that they came out with. And one of the professional gamers that was playing like Fortnite and CSGO and stuff started playing the Bored Ape Yacht Club game. And he bought a Bored Ape and was playing it. And he won one of the things. And it was like a key. And he sold the key on OpenSea for 1,000 ETH. And at the time, ETH was $1,600. So he sold that key for $1.6 million. And that was a game that he had played for 2.5 weeks. So he basically put about 2 weeks worth of time into this and made $1.6 million off of selling that one NFT. So that's what ERC 721s can do because of the rarity, because of how they're desired by the community. And it's just one of those things where you might find that sword that just happens to be that 1 out of 1 item that everybody covets. And they'll pay whatever it costs to get it. And it's just like, wow, that's really a game changer. That changes every type of dynamic inside the game when you can find something that's just so rare that nobody else has it. So I'm really excited about that. I mean, I don't want to anticipate that they're going to sell for millions of dollars, but can you imagine if you found an item that sold for $100,000 or even $10,000? That would just be a game changer, right? You fought somebody, you found an item, and it was like, wow, I just made $10,000 from that. That was crazy.
Nuts. I love sitting back and speculating on the potential possible numbers of people, the potential possible adoption that could come into DeFi Kingdoms. Like, I love listening to Wowie and Matty Pesk and Boxside Chats, Adventures in DeFi Kingdoms, and all those gaming geeks out there talking about, PvP to come. We know Workhorse is out there hustling, Pervy Sage, baby. And it's so fun to just think about, just imagine a year from now, 2 years from now, if there's even 10,000 people playing this game. But I know a lot of people are talking 100,000. There's 100,000. If there's 1 million people, but just 10,000 people, if just 10,000 people came into the game, it's like even that is hard for me to wrap my mind around, the upside for everything in the game. What we've had is an ecosystem that's actually shrinking, that's been shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking and shrinking through the bear market where our brains are melting. And it's just like a cascading effect that happens where there's more people selling out. There's not people coming in buying, as much. Yeah. Even though we have seen some new ones, I think some new ones are trickling in still. Yeah. Okay, plenty of that. But holy smokes, with Hustle out there talking about this game, with, all the big dogs are going to be out there talking about this game. It's going to be exposed. We're going to have first mover advantage. The team's solid. They've been grinding. They've been putting in the time. They've been putting in the work. The releases and announcements that are coming, it's like, oh my gosh, I can't even wrap my mind around the upside potential to this project.
Yeah. It, baby. And the biggest thing is that I think people in the DFK, community understand is that this is not just DeFi Kingdoms. This is every single project, every single NFT, every single thing in the entire crypto space right now is down 80, 90, 95, 99%. Yep. I mean, can you imagine if you would have bought a Bored Ape, at $600,000 and now you're barely at 60? I mean, it's just it's kind of a crazy market that we're in right now. And I love Mellow Green Giant's comment right there. I can't wait till my Fire Sword of Fire is worth $1.6 million. I concur, baby. I want my Fire Sword of Fire too. So yeah, all we can do is look ahead and see, get out your crystal ball, look into the future. What's a year from now going to look like? What's 2 years from now going to look like? Are all of those heroes that you're building up right now now. I know Brown Gent and I talked about it. I can't wait till my heroes get to level 30. At some point they're going to be level 30, then they're going to be level 40. Can you imagine what heroes are going to be worth? Because we know after after grinding in this game for 16, 18, 20 months, all of a sudden we've got level 15 and level 16 heroes. But now the experience is going up exponentially. So it's going to take a long time to get to level 25. It's going to take even longer to get to level 30. That might be 2, 3, 4 years. So this game has got so much legs behind it that it's just like, to me, wow, I can't even think of 10 years from now. And we haven't even introduced that second exalted, or whatever they're calling it now, hero, right? What happens when the Dread Knight gets paired up with the necromancer to make the, whatever it's going to be called at some point? And those, all of a sudden, those Dread Knights that have one summon left are going to be worth a heck of a lot more than they are today. So, there's all kinds of these little tiny aspects that I'm looking at going like, wow, this could be insanely huge.
It really could be. We know that Pervy Sage, baby, he's out there to make a game. This is his baby. He's out there trying to make a game that's a high level, esport level game. And he's not holding back. Every time they keep diving deeper into the development of the game, they just keep saying, nope, we want to make it even better. We want to make it even better. And that's part of the delays. But we know there's going to be PvE, there's going to be PvP, there's going to be tournaments, there's going to be crafting, we're going to have weapons. It's just like, ooh. And if that game is a hit, which I believe it will be, I believe in Pervy Sage. He's one of my favorite humans on Earth. Breathe, Shady Grady. Breathe.
Yeah.
It is mind-blowing.
It is.
So,
it is.
What else? What I know you've been talking with the team a lot about different things, developing stuff that we don't even know what's going on. You're doing some stuff back there, behind the scenes. What else can you share with us?
Yeah, I mean, we continue to build. I've had a great conversation with Fox and Bolon about it, and I think that at some point, probably here in the not too distant future, we're going to have a beta release to, some of you guys in the community that can try things out and see what you like. But there's building that's going on behind the scenes. I know Raf and Neindorf are busy creating their game as well, and there's going to be some cool things that come out in the meantime. There's also going to be a couple of little surprises that the team hasn't even included us on, but they've been tight-lipped about it. But I think that those things are going to materialize here, if not in August, then probably in September, that just kind of lead the way to, bigger and better things down the road. But yeah, I mean, I talked to Bolon, and he's been pretty tight-lipped about everything, because he has to take all the brunt of it if they don't, deliver on whatever it is that they want, that they're promising. But I like the fact that, they're hinting towards these little things. And we've talked to George, and we've talked to Brian Evans, and we've talked to a couple people that are really interested in DeFi Kingdoms and really want to be a part of what they're building. And I think that at some point they're going to have the hustles of the world that are like, hey, we want to advise you guys. They're going to have the influencers that have millions of eyeballs on them that say, okay, we think that you guys built something really cool, and everybody's going to want to be a part of it. But I think that the nice thing is that we have this community content that we've been building. And, I talked to Fox about it as well. He's like, hey, I can't do what you guys do. You get on camera and you talk, and you're so great at it, and you help build the community. And I appreciate that. And I love that. And I'm always happy that you guys are out there talking about it, because this is our baby. This is what we've built. This is something I've worked on for, 3 years out of my life, and I want it to be successful and I want it to be great, but I can't do those things because I've got to be directing the team and building my own stuff and making sure the development happens and doing all these things in the background. But, he's a really genuine person. That was actually the first time I talked to him, not face to face, but video to video. I know that you had, Grady, that interview. If you guys haven't seen it, you have to watch it, because you get the sincerity of Fox. Grady asked the tough questions. Fox answered them all very sincerely, and it just made me even more bullish on DFK than I already was.
It was like vindicated. It's like I felt vindicated. That's been a little while. We're probably coming up on about a year ago when I did that interview with Frisky. I remember that was a pretty big deal. It's like, man, just to think of how far we've come through this bear that's been such a bear, And to see the team that's grinded through what they've gone through and the trials they've been through as a team and everything, and to see them coming, still going strong, even though it's just like, it's not easy. It's so hard to get through this. And it's hard for us too.
It's really hard. Yeah. One of the fiat providers I introduced to the team who I met at 3XP, they just went under. So their name was String. And they basically said, we're unfortunately going to have to sell off all of our assets. We're looking for a mergers and acquisition partner. But due to the market conditions right now, we're going to have to close our doors. And I was like, wow, I just met them last month, right? It was at 3XP, and they were gung ho about bringing on gaming projects that they could have this NFT marketplace where you could use fiat to go in there and buy NFTs, have an easy checkout like Amazon, and similar to what the team's doing right now with Halliday and some of the other partners that they're looking at. But yeah, I was like, oh man, I just got that notification in Slack the other day, and I was like, wow. This is what happens in a bear market, right? It's like, it's not the best of times for these projects. They're not making money. They've got developers they need to pay. And, just to have a team that's going to grind through. I understand now how those DeFi projects felt in, 2016, 2017. You had the Uniswaps of the world, right? You had the Aves of the world that didn't have a clear path on what was going to happen, right? Were they going to become billion-dollar companies, or were they going to fold up and go do something else? And luckily, the Uniswaps of the world made it through, and we're better off today with them here. So I'm excited. Yeah.
It is crazy. I remember thinking that the last bear market in 2018, 2019, 2020, I was like, it can't get any worse than that ever, a bear market. I was wrong, because this bear market has been insane. I hope the day comes when we don't have to deal with this so much. Obviously there's always going to be kind of bull and bear periods, but goodness gracious, it's just been brutal. When things are down, when people have lost all their money, and it changes the psychology of us. It's so hard to keep going. You get disillusioned, and you're like, what the hell? You wake up one day and you're just like, what the hell am I doing? And people just get disillusioned and fizzle out. And it's like, it's just a reaction chain that happens one after another. And right now we've even got somebody with like 7 million Joule. They've been selling, they're down to like 5 million Joule or something like that. Maybe 5
And to tell you the truth, I don't blame anybody that needs to sell for whatever reason they need to sell for. It sucks, but I can't imagine having to dump Joule at the bottom. But that's what you see when it comes down to it. People need to sell for all different reasons. And I just look at it like, okay, we'll watch their wallet. When it gets down to zero, we can buy. It's just like, it's like the whole thing with like any asset class. It's like people sell for whatever reason that they've got, and we live with it. We write it out, and we hopefully can buy when that selling pressure is over with. But yeah, I think that's a weird time. It's like the lowest Joule's ever got is like what, 10 cents, and right now it's at 12 cents. Why would you be selling your 5 or 6 or 8 million Joule or whatever they had at 12 cents? Why wouldn't you be selling it at $1, $2, whatever it was back then? Why sell it now if we're at the bottom?
I know. I hope they're just not panic selling out with right on the brink of some just mind-blowing things that are coming. It just is killing me now. I get it. They might just need to sell some off. Like I did that. I sold off like 400 heroes and sold a little bit just because I needed to get some money out of the ecosystem that I hadn't done in like a year. So I've just kind of been in a mode of like, I just want to get through this period of time, and not worry about it too much. Of course, pay attention, make sure the team's doing good and everything, doing what they can. But as long as that's happening, the team's doing their best. They're grinding. They're making these partnerships. They're making these connections, all these different things out there coming. You don't got much to worry about.
One of the things we hit on a little bit on Sarge's podcast that maybe I wanted your opinion on as well, Grady, is that, with the bazaar here, we have an order book, and an order book DEX hasn't been done at scale on any chain because it was too intensive on gas. Basically, that's the main thing, is that, it's too hard to settle those transactions quickly enough and in a most, effective way. That's why the AMMs came in and Uniswap became so big, is because everybody created pools, and, then you could actually facilitate trades. But now having an order book DEX that can be rolled out on any ERC20 token across any chain is a big deal. And I don't think people are making that big of a deal about it. I mean, it's first on DFK chain, but who's to say it doesn't go out to all other chains at some point, at least the ones that are gas effective. I mean, Ethereum layer 1 might be expensive because you're spending $5 or $10 per gas transaction, but all these other layer 2s are going to need an order book DEX at some point.
Right. And we know they've talked about it. And it might be one of those mini announcements coming. Okay. Lots of big things coming, which might also include some other big partnerships with some other big players out there, to make all this work.
The innovation just keeps coming. That's the thing, is like they haven't stopped building new things. And I'm just like, wow, okay, we're in the midst of this bear market where we all know that, this is the lows of the lows, and we can see the light. I mean, it's like April's right around the corner. I mean, I don't want to think like, okay, everything's going to transition in April, but if you look at the past historic cycles, that's when things tend to become a little bit better. And then 6 months to a T in the last historic cycles after the halvening, the market has just exponentially gone up. Usually with Bitcoin, it's 3 to 5x, and then everything else has followed that. So if that's a key indicator, 69,000 was the high last time. So we're talking $200,000 Bitcoin. I mean, that would just be insane, right? I mean, all of a sudden the market cap of the crypto markets goes up to 10 trillion. It's just, it's incredible.
Right. It'll come. It's not a matter of if, but when. If you ask me, they tried to kill it all this time. They're not going to kill it. It's not going anywhere. It's getting adopted by even the big players. That also, in one hand, makes you nervous, getting all the big dogs in. But on the other hand, we know it's coming. The adoption's coming. We ride those coattails. We take our profits.
Yeah.
Once it pumps to the moon. One thing I don't know. I was just thinking that I started to mention this earlier. We talked to Ian with WAGMI Games. I've got Scott coming on tomorrow. Ian was there, and Jet was also there, and I was trying to connect dots. I've always been trying to figure out who are some of the other possible applicants on the next Crypto Gym TV show. I think WAGMI Games was one of them. Okay. I'm not sure how all this went with all of them, but I'm excited to have them on. They've been having some massive things happening in their ecosystem. He talked a big game too. I spent a lot of time with Ian, and Scott is like his right-hand man. Having him on the show tomorrow. I'm going to try and get Ian on as well. So excited to talk about that. Also, Seth with Mind Your Biz, baby. He's coming on Wednesday. Big time. Make sure you guys come and show out with those guys. It'll be just leave an impression on them about the community, about DeFi Kingdoms, about all the other things we're talking about as well.
Yeah. I've got Halliday coming on Friday morning. Yeah. And so I have the CEO and the CTO that are going to come on and talk for about an hour about everything that Halliday is doing, some of the gaming partnerships that they've got, not only DFK, but what they're doing right now for a lot of Web3 games is just going to be transformational. It's not going to, it's not going to show up anywhere because Halliday doesn't have a token. They're just a private company, whatever the case may be. But these games, you'll watch the adoption go from just this little trickle to all of a sudden it's going to be a flood. And people are going to go like, well, how did that game become so big? And it's just because people could sign in with Google. People could sign in with Facebook or Twitter or whatever they wanted to, and they could go in. They don't have to have a wallet. They could start playing immediately. Then at some point in the future, they could start buying tokens. They could buy NFTs. They could buy all this stuff. And then they're going to start thinking like, wow, this is really cool. I own my own skins. I own my own tokens. I own my own everything inside this game. I'm going to tell my friends about it. So, they're really going to be a huge benefit to not only DFK, but to every single Web3 project out there. So I'm looking forward to these smart contract wallets. And that's going to be one of the user experiences that changes everything. As far as I'm concerned, everything is going to be different in this bull run. People are going to be able to come into Web3. They're going to be able to onboard really easily. You don't have to worry about having a wallet and a seed phrase and all the other crap that we had to go through. And, you know, I look back on it and I'm like, we learned so much and we've come so far, but let's make it easier for everybody so that we can get a couple 100 million people involved this time rather than a couple thousand or a couple 100,000. Yeah.
Oh, a couple million people. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? So iOS code, my man. So yes, they've announced Holiday. They've announced Swipe, Lux. We're just starting to scratch the surface on some of these partnerships that are coming.
Yep.
We are just beginning to scratch the surface. And again, bizarre, you just heard it from the man himself, KP. Okay, there's not an open order book. It's a decentralized open order book out there.
Right.
That's
and I think that what iOS code is referring to is, you know, Grady and I spend a lot of time in Las Vegas talking to a lot of different projects, but all of these projects have NDAs signed with Next Crypto Gem. They can't talk about it. None of them can talk about it. DFK can't talk about it. WAGMI Games can't talk about it. None of these projects can talk about it. But we're looking at all these people that were at these different events and thinking like, I wonder if they're on the TV show. I wonder if they're on the TV show. I wonder which one of these, you know, projects won the entire thing. And if so, when we get to episode 6 or wherever it is, episode 7 of Next Crypto Gem, that's going to be broadcast to 100 million people. And so everybody in crypto is going to be watching it, and everybody outside of crypto is going to be watching it. And Grady and I, obviously, like we are thinking like, okay, how do we get in front of this? All right, we're going to know, you know, that first week. And I know that all you guys in the community want to come on and have a big viewing party. And I know Sarge and, you know, Grady and Bolon and everybody's been talking about, we're going to have a viewing party for Next Crypto Gem. That first week, 16 projects are going to get cut down to 4. And then we're going to see who the top 4 are. And at that point, I think those 4 tokens are going to start going up, right, guys? And then we're going to be down to 2. And those 2 tokens are probably going to continue. And then we're going to be down to 1. And everybody's going to be like, oh, that's the #1 project everybody voted for. What do you think is going to happen to that token price? It's probably going to go up. I mean, I can only speculate, but I would assume that after the Next Crypto Gem, there's going to be one big winner. And they're going to go up. I mean, that's the way life is. That's like when it comes on CNBC and Amazon has a blowout earning, the token, you know, their stock price goes up. So it's just the same way.
It is. It is. So here's what I found. I don't really know, but I think some of the projects that I've noticed that I think have applied, just even based off like on George, when George is talking about the Next Crypto Gem or like on spaces or tweets on different things, comments that people make on his videos. I've noticed Suka makes a lot of comments, and a lot of the weight token is purchased with Suka. Okay, so Suka is like a meme token.
Right.
And I really noticed that a lot of that community, like it's pretty obvious they applied to be on the show.
Right.
WAGMI Games and this Squid something games that Brian D. Evans, he's even an advisor for now, like publicly. He announced it. He announced that one. He announced that project that there's others that he hasn't yet announced. Okay. And so I don't know. Those are projects I've got my eye on. Super bullish for the weight token. And I wanted to answer this, Robin Hood. I think there's been a lot of FUD going around with this. People have taken this proposal to Clayton to mean as a desperation play. DeFi Kingdoms is running out of money. It's a desperation play. That's why anyone who just came in, make sure you start over. We drop alpha right from the beginning of this video on. Be sure if you came in late, catch up. 2x speed. All right. So I think that's part of it. You know, anytime people can, in the bear market, when there's any ounce of potential bad news, it's like it gets so amplified. So we clarified that one. The issue or the point of the team with the position of strength, as you said, KP, is DeFi Kingdoms in this situation, not Clayton. It's DeFi Kingdoms. They're coming from a very strong position of strength, the opposite of a desperation play.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
baby.
I was pretty shocked. I heard this is a little piece of alpha for everybody that's watching right now, is that the base chain has only been open for, less than a week, and it's already made over $700,000 in gas fees. And so you look at something like that and you're just wondering, like, okay, this is a layer two on top of optimism. They made $700,000 in less than a week in gas fees. That's over $100 million net to their bottom line as a publicly traded company, Coinbase. And so I'm looking at that going like, okay, they're adding $100 million of net profit to their bottom line in less than a year. And this is not, factored into their earnings. This is not factored into anything, but this is just one layer two blockchain. And I was like, what is DeFi Kingdoms worth? I mean, it just absolutely blows my mind. I mean, they're not on the same level as Coinbase or anything like that, but they're doing 2.5, 3 million transactions a day, and they have their own blockchain and it's humming along. And I'm just like, wow, are we really that naive to think like, okay, Coinbase is making so much money and they're a multi-billion-dollar company, but DFK is right in that same realm and they're continuing to innovate too. So it's like, something's off here. Something just doesn't make sense to me, Grady. What do you think about that?
Yeah, so that's just what the bear market does. I didn't know that Vilvi sold out. Really? Was she, when she bought into XRP, turned out to be a good move? Oh, that's good for her. I did not know Vilvi sold out. Did she sell all the way out? She was one of the largest hero holders in the world. Like, we're talking like 10,000 heroes that she owned.
Wow.
Man, she helped me when I first got started on my YouTube channel. I didn't know she sold out. But I can imagine she probably lost millions of dollars in this game. Like, can you just imagine? So
yeah. And that's what happens. I mean, the capitulation happens at the very end when everybody has sold everything that they can possibly sell. And everybody thinks like, oh my God, it's going to zero. There's just no way I want to stay in this anymore. And when you see that, I mean, it happened to Coinbase too. I mean, that was down to like $30. It was like everybody was against like, oh gosh, centralized exchanges are going to zero. There's not going to be any anymore. And then all of a sudden, boom, it's up to 100 at 3x. You're like, oh my gosh, okay, I should have bought it when it was at 30. It's still undervalued. I mean, that base token, I should have probably had that conversation with Brown Gent because he follows stocks more than I do. But I think Coinbase, to me, is way undervalued for building their own chain, for all the things that they're doing. They're going to be a company that's just going to be the world domination because everybody's everybody's casting FUD on Binance. I love Binance, but Binance is getting the harsh, governance sent to them right now. And Coinbase is going to be one of those few players that says, hey, we're doing everything above board. Yeah. We're happy to be, governed by the US and every other municipality that's out there. And we're going to continue to make money. And I think it's going to be the long-term player that we all have to use to onboard and offboard from crypto. So more power to them.
Yep. So we got to have some fiat on ramps and off ramps for this whole thing to work. It's a problem without that. So it's been good to see Binance.us. You can also now trade in USDC again, so that's been nice. Hey, boys, you guys remember Versalog? Versalog. Oh, yeah. He's in the chat. He says, hey, this is my buddy from Colombia, South America. Good. Nice. Right here in the house. All right. Yeah, man. Anything else? Christian Peter, you are the man. The myth, the legend.
No, I love these Monday night DFK madnesses with you, Grady. We always have a great time. You guys have got to come out and hang out with Grady and Kong when you guys are at the conference, when Sticks, Intern, and I, if you're close to Austin at all, I mean, come out, grab a beer, just chill for a bit. We're happy to have you, just like chat about whatever's going on in life and, enjoy the real life experiences because this bear market's going to be over sometime soon. And we're going to look back and think, wow, I can't believe that we thought that things could get any worse than they possibly were. Grady and I talked about in Vegas. Remember we talked about Cardano and it was like under a penny. And then it shot up in 2017 to like $1.20 something. So at like 120x. And then it went back down to 3 cents and it hung out at 3 cents for 2.5 years. And then it went to $3. It went up another 100x. And everybody was like, okay, this is the worst thing ever. But can you imagine 100xing twice? That's just nuts. So I'm
And
hoping that DFK can do the same thing.
I bought it at a penny. I didn't sell hardly anything at $1.26, but I did sell right at the top a little tiny bit of profit taking. Wrote it all the way down, dollar cost averaging all the way down. And when it was sitting there 4 or 5 cents, 6 cents forever, I kept DCAing the whole time in the Cardano. Just, I was losing my mind while I was doing it, but I did it. I'll tell you what. And then I sold way too early. I sold it when it went back up to like 36 cents. I sold 2/3 of it, and I was like, but kept selling all the rest of it all the way up. Anyways, yeah, man, this is so fun. KP, I want to go to permissionless if I can. It might not work out, but it would be. I do want to go if I can make that work, especially since Loudmouth, he lives in Houston. That's where he lives.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
Austin's where all the crypto people are right now.
Austin.
So, yeah.
Right. Yeah, man. Okay. Yeah, man. So I'll be talking about Cardano. I'll be asking some hard questions to Seth with Mind Your Biz, because he just had Crypto Crow on, who I love, but he's such a Cardano bull, and he's talking about all the innovation and all this. And I'm just like, what innovation are you talking about? I mean, it's just speculative. As far as I know, I've tried to get in there and use the damn thing, and it just doesn't work. Now, of course, that was a while back, but I'm hopeful for Cardano. This rare Evo conference that we're going to be at has a big hardcore Cardano showing, devs and everybody. So I'll be getting a good. Maybe I'll meet Charles Hoskinson out there. Wouldn't that be fun?
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I got into the space by running a Cardano validator for about a year. And so I had a stake pool, and I did the entire Cardano ecosystem, and loved on Cardano all the way through the first summit that they had. And when smart contracts came out and Cardano hit $3, I was like, this is great. This is awesome. And then watching it go all the way back down. I mean, I feel for the Cardano community, because everybody there is they've watched, they've seen, they have a lot of really smart people doing a lot of really cool things, but projects come and go, and it's not because of the tech. If it was, Betamax would have won out over VHS, right? And it never did. So, you got to have more than just the tech. There's got to be a community around it. There's got to be, the first mover advantage. Ethereum's got a big advantage over everybody right now. And I just think that ETH is going to continue to be the big boy on the block. Yeah. These layer 2s are going to get even bigger. It's going to be hard to pass up ETH.
ZK Sync. What you've told me about ZK Sync, it's like, you're like, that's all we're ever going to want, all we're ever going to need. I'm just like, whoa, that has thrown a monkey wrench into a lot of the other projects, such as even Avalanche, with their subnets and stuff.
When EIP 4844 comes out later this year, guys, I mean, it's October is when they're planned, but it'll probably be November, December. That's when all the fees on layer 2s go down 20x.
Yeah.
So anything that you're looking at,
Phoenix, right? I mean,
anything on Optimism, Arbitrum, ZK, all that stuff is going to be pennies, if not less than pennies.
Yeah.
And that's when it becomes super easy for any project to launch, and super easy for anybody to do. Finalization is going to be instant. Gas fees are going to be up next to non-existent. Everything's going to be zero knowledge, and it's just going to be super, super fast and super, super cheap. It's the broadband moment, as far as I'm concerned, for all of crypto. It's when everything's super cheap and super fast.
Baby, let's go. I love you guys. Kristian, Peter, the man, the myth, the legend himself, and Crypto Grady out. Love you. Love you guys. DeFi Kingdoms to the moon. Dragons Crossing to the moon. Starting tomorrow. I got to say one thing. Bob Nothing, if you're out there and all your Dragons Crossing, Gatrino, everybody out there, listen up here. There is apps. I am the biggest idiot on the planet Earth. I should have won the season. The only thing I was debating is, should I try to win it at like 259 quests or 269 quests? That was my only debate. And I thought for sure there was going to be some people coming in with 260 quests or sub 260 to beat Abaddon. And so I went for the marbles at 259. Well, no one ever beat Bob Nothing at 270 quests. And I was like, Oh, I mean, I destroyed Abaddon after I died immediately, right away the next day. But I lost the arm wrestling match, got sent back to Eidos. Like, I was ready to go fight Abaddon, and I was thinking, okay, this is probably a godsend. I can switch out 3 items and still go beat him at like 268 quests. And then, you know, or I can flee and try and do it again the next day and still do it at 270 or tie him. Okay, 271 quests. And I didn't do it. I didn't switch out the items just because I thought, well, someone's going to come in at 260. Christian Peter, I'm a mess.
You got into Vegas sleep deprived because you were up all night playing Dragon's Crossing. So
no, I'll tell you what. But I was still, even though I didn't get in the top 3, boys, let's go. Let's go, boys. We were the #1 profit taker. The #1. Did you see this tweet? I got to show this off. I gotta flex here a little bit, baby. Let's come here to Dragon's Crossing. I just got to show you. Dragons. All right. Look at this. Okay, first of all, this is a new enemy that we're going to be battling. Season 3 starts tomorrow, boys and girls. Listen, you can get in there and play. You can buy a Rift Hero now for like $11, and it costs $20 to play the season. Okay, so all right, I had this warrior right here, and I was here at number 9. This mage should have gotten first place. He should have either been at 270 quests or 268 quests or 271. I'm the biggest idiot on earth. Okay, so when we look at this, we scroll down here. Top 5 most profitable players. Booyah. Okay, so I made about $400 this season. Okay, and on top of that, I made another like $400 on the NFTs that I got. And so, baby.
You can't complain on that, Grady. You did really well. And I'm so excited, like we talked about in Vegas, because Dragon's Crossing is like a preview to what's going to happen with PvP on DFK. So if you can make $400 or $800, I'm just super stoked, because once we have a couple of thousand people playing PvP on DFK, I'm hoping we all can make a couple of $1,000s by every season. You know, that would be so awesome.
Man. I'll tell you what, I was gambling on Dragon's Crossing instead of the casinos in Vegas. I was creating so many different strategies for that game. So it's so fun. It's so addictive. It's so awesome. This game it just needs adoption. So with this game, just the same with DeFi Kingdoms, if we just got 1,000 people playing this game, and this is the most fun, addictive game currently there in Web3 at the moment, okay? And it's been a great distraction from all the FUD that comes at DeFi Kingdoms all the time over the past few months for me, okay? Just to not worry so much about it. And, man, I'm so bullish on this game. If just the team hangs in there, you know, and they've got some big alpha drops that have already come, okay, for Season 3. And then big alpha for Season 4. So they're grinding, they're still going for it, you know. And if they can make it through this bear market and get some adoption into this game, I'm so bullish on it. But it could die, could all go to zero. I mean, we just never know. We've seen DeFi Kingdoms to be so resilient. They've gone through so much hell and back, and we all have gone there with them through it all. Okay, I hope Dragon's Crossing can show that same resilience. There's a lot of weight on Bloater Punch's shoulders, but he's a good dude, good heart. He's got a phenomenal game. It's really big brains. A lot more simple. It's way more simple than what esport level DeFi Kingdoms will become someday. It's like apples and oranges. This is just a fun game you can get in and play some, whereas DeFi Kingdoms, they're going esport level, whole different level of gaming. Okay, this is just quick and easy. It will take you a season. You're gonna have to play a season to really get good at the game, but it won't take you a ton of time to get in there and figure it out and play. And you can still even on that first season, probably win your money back and then some. Very possibly. So especially if you're getting some NFTs in there. So I saw some Genesis heroes, not great stats, not great base stat Genesis heroes, but there's some in there for like $41, $42. And then the Rift heroes are like $11, some of them. The floor is so cheap. So I am bullish on this game as well. I'm excited for season 3 to start up tomorrow. Get in there, try it out. If you haven't, just one hero. You know, it takes you 10 minutes a day. Get in there, quest it. If you miss a day, no big deal. Won't even hurt you. So love you guys. Yeah, thank you, Sir Worm. Mellow Green Giant, thank you. You know, looking at the screen, I just noticed they forgot to wipe out one thing from the bird theme on X. The home icon is still birdhouse. Oh, really? Interesting.
It is.
I love it. Love you guys. All right. Now, Kristian Peter and Crypto Grady out. Love you guys. Love you, Kristian, man. Love you. You're like a brother, man. You guys hang in there, fam.